DMV Weed Doctor, located in Louisville, honey. And child, the weed doctor is wearing her own natural hair. Child, I don't know how many of y'all saw we went live with I am Mr. Let Go, and child, he is off the chain, Malane. He was talking about all the things that some of us women of color are doing and not doing concerning wearing our hair and wigs and weave. But now, one thing I will say, he did give women who were wearing alopecia prosthetics a pass. So that was not up for discussion. But I guess for all those, child, Mr. I am Let Go was talking about everybody. Okay. But anyways, today we are going to be getting into some more topics. We're going to be talking about, Kevin Samuels, Lizzo, and also just how the Weave Doctor is going to start, incorporating some of these current events. We're trying to be current in year 2021. Okay. And some of these things, are very can come up as being very controversial. For example, as far as the now I'm like, hold on one second, you guys. Okay, I thought I lost you guys. This daggone Instacart keep on texting me while I'm on. They sending me notifications trying to mess up my life. They know they wrong. But anyways, the main topic that we're gonna be, everything always is about health, nutrition, and promoting positivity within our community. So today we're going to be talking about nutrition. That's one of the biggest things we're going to be talking about: nutrition and weight, and how all of these things correlate with hair loss. People do not realize that a lot of times, a lot of the medications that they are on are causing them to have some more severe hair loss. I don't know how many when I do the consultations for the trichology, and the trichology is pretty much a hair growth specialist. So those are some of the services specialized just for you women who are dealing with hair loss. And so some of the main things that people are dealing with is the medication for number one, the high blood pressure. And for all you guys who do not know that a lot of the sodium enriched foods, they are heavily rich with lipopolysaccharides. That is a endotoxin that starts within the gut. And that has a lot to do with what you're eating, okay? Y'all be eating at plot plies and hick filet. Girl, just getting our grub on, and we're not realizing that not only now, and that's why we're talking about this, because within our community, a lot of times we give ourselves a pass, and some of our friends, because we have been taught that being healthy is being overweight. I've even experienced it. I've been a thin person all my life until I got on birth control. But I had a mama. My mother was from Mississippi, okay, originally, but she was pretty much grew up in Los Angeles in her early adult teenage years. And she would always tell me, Chelsea, you need to eat. Girl, I'm trying to fatten you up. And she did not, my mother thought I had them big bone jeans like she did in Mississippi. Some of my family members, they got some nice behinds, look like they got some plastic surgery. Okay, before Nicki Minaj and Cricket Minaj came out. But honey, I took after more of my dad's side. So some of us, we have more slender shapes. My father is pretty much almost half black. I mean, half Caucasian and black. He has a lot of different mixtures on that family, but we don't have, so on that. And then his mother was very thin like me and was more tall. So, and that has a lot to do with your genes. So the genes can make you more predisposed to being thinner or heavier. Just like I know Oprah Winfrey, she said, I know she did a show back in the day. She said, there is no way in the world that I'm going to be as small as this BMI. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit. Talking about the BMI. And before we get on the BMI, though, we're going to be talking about Kevin Samuels, okay? Now, I don't know if you guys have heard about this Kevin Samuels. This Kevin Samuels is a character. Your husbands and boyfriends probably is sneaking at night listening to him, okay? So that, and probably trying to whip you into shape, okay? But and I'm not necessarily against Kevin Samuels. I'm trying to see the good and bad and everything. I think that he is just he promotes the alpha male, and he tries to promote the more conservative way. A lot of us, we have grown away from those different ideas, but he helps to I guess try to help us black women, in particular women in color, understand that we have been overweight and also that we need to get it in check, because a lot of times this could be affecting some of our relationships, as far as with the opposite sex or with the same sex, depending on whatever you are into. Okay, child, we represent for everybody today. Okay. So, anyways, and this is always a big, huge topic on his show, with weight. And I've even seen it with me doing being a holistic practitioner. I thought that everybody was ready to get on the Weave Doctor's nutritional boot camp. Child, I found that ain't nobody wanted to put down the fried chicken. Okay, nobody wanted to put down the fried chicken. The Weave Doctor, I said, look, the Weave Doctor gonna have to start making nutrition fun. So that's why we are incorporating some of these current events. But anyways, he talks about a lot of women and try to get them in the category of their within their BMI. So I'm going to just briefly, now I downloaded some of these templates earlier talking about the BMI. And this now, and I wonder, who are they referencing? I think it's pretty much in most of these cases it is stemming from a European probably perspective. We live in America. Now that's not saying, and I feel like everyone may not be able to buckle down and to get that small, or feel like they want to be that small. Maybe they may just want to be under a size, just a size 10 or 11, maybe, especially if you're coming maybe from a size 20 or 24. And so, just sometimes you can just press towards the mark. You don't have to always be perfect. But I'm gonna read some of these BMIs, and it's gonna show you guys, put some things in perspective, how sometimes as African Americans and women of color, we can be somewhat overweight. Okay, so for a 4'10" height, 4'10", the normal weight is 91 pounds or 118 pounds. Child, they want y'all to be anorexical. Okay. And the next one, for to be overweight, is 119 to 142. And I guess obese would probably be in the 150s or something like that. The next one is 5'2". So if you are 5'2", you should be 104 to 135 pounds, or 136 to 163 is somewhat considered overweight. And even as me, as being I'm 5'8" approximately, and and it's funny, people been calling me bony and skinny all my life. Okay, but I actually happen to be within my BMI. With those. So I don't know if you want to go as far. Now there was a range. I remember when I was 135, but to me that is a very that's a very, very thin individual, and I'm not sure if everybody is supposed to be that thin, you know. However, I do believe that we should be at a more healthier weight, and that's why it's good to talk to a holistic practitioner. And sometimes we have been eating so much bad foods for so long, we don't know what our natural healthy weight is at. So that's why it's good to go with a holistic practitioner, go to a nutritionist, and get on board, baby. And then you probably can see all that you can be. Okay. All right. And now we're trying to look at some more about, I know I had posted a video earlier. Now, this is just some more of some of the BMI for those who are more interested. You probably can go back over it later on, but it talks about all the different heights. And, in some cases, it is a little extreme, and not everyone is going to be able to get with this. And then next thing, we're also going to be talking about Miss Lizzo, because Miss Lizzo said, she said, forget, child, forget your BMI. Anybody think about no BMI, okay? Only thing we think about is a BMW, okay? We is not thinking about no BMI. And Lizzo happens to be a 5'10". She's 2 inches taller than me, and she is at 308 pounds. Okay, but she looks lovely. And I think that there's nothing wrong with body positivity. And the next photo we're going to show her, she was showing it all out. I know she received a lot of backlash for showing all her goodies on the intranet or whatever type of engagement that she was at. Now, the only thing about Miss Lizzo that I would admit, sometimes I think that the body positivity is kind of extreme. I think that she's trying to be like a Monique. I remember Monique first came out. She used to be saying, forget skinny bees, calling her skinny bees, F us, and all this stuff. And then she ended up losing a lot of weight. And you want to know why? And I guess you're not going to believe this. You want to know why Monique lost all that weight? She lost that weight and I guess this goes back to the Kevin Samuel part of trying to please your spouse and keep your man and all this stuff. Her husband told her, "Baby, you are just getting too big, and I don't want to see you. I want to be able to see you raise your grandchildren." And after that, child Monique, I guess she said, "Look, I'm gonna show this Negro." And Monique, I don't know if you guys know, Monique has lost a lot of weight, honey. She has shedded down them pounds, girl. I couldn't even believe it. She is bouncing, moving, jumping, doing cartwheels. I'm being funny. She's not fully doing cartwheels, but I mean, compared to where she was, and that was all that motivation because her husband and she wanted to be. Her children were trying to motivate her. I mean, sorry, her husband and the family members probably might have been trying to motivate her to be a more healthier her. So, and the reason why I'm saying it because I seen a picture of Miss Lizzo. She had her behind bent open. You know, she got a nice round behind and the crack on social media. Okay, and with a middle finger showed up down the crack. Okay, that's just too much. But I guess and maybe she has tried to go on different type of health diets, as many of us have tried. However, I say that's when I think it comes and I think it's just a commitment issue in some regards, and also food can become an addiction. It can be used. I learned, and as a holistic practitioner, eating can be a coping mechanism. That's why, especially right now, a lot of people, even during the pandemic, have resorted to. A lot of people have gained 20, 40, 60, even 100 pounds. A lot of us been stressed out, child. We've been worried about this daggone pandemic, child. We don't know what's going on. If we're going to lose our jobs, the vaccinations, just all of these things. It's just been a lot and very, very tough on a lot of us. And so, a lot of us just been losing our minds and just sitting eating the Pop Tarts and cookies and popcorn and bread. And I don't even eat that type of stuff. I was about to say chia sticks. I know that's healthy. That's how you know. That's how you know that I'm eating too healthy. But anyways, now back on. Now we already addressed some of that and some of the things about Lizzo. She promoting um, promotes body positivity. However, one of the things I am concerned about is that sometimes these artists they are not having any type of accountability. I don't think there's nothing wrong with loving yourself and your individualism. Say, like for example, me being a more skinnier, thinner person, even though that has been popularized and praised in the community, some people in some communities may feel like, well, she's too skinny. So I think there's nothing wrong with promoting your body type. However, if you are unhealthy, I think that has to be addressed, and she should be probably telling some of the younger people who are following her, yes, I am healthy. Yes, I'm a full plus size, or what we call in the Black community, a healthy looking Black woman. However, I am dealing with some underlying issues, and I do know that this is not the way for me indefinitely because of this, in the long term, I possibly could develop some type of degenerative disease further on down the line. I think that's the only thing that I do not like. Sometimes, especially, I couldn't believe. I feel like Monique was being two-faced in this situation. How come all of a sudden, she was saying all this stuff about skinny women and all this. Then she ended up losing over probably 150 pounds. So I just couldn't believe it. She went from 1 minute from saying, forget about the skinny women, calling us skinny witches and all this stuff, skinny people mean. And now she's losing all of this weight. But I guess again, she wanted to keep child. She said she wanted to keep a man. The last time I know she said with the last relationship, it was just too much going on with her not being available to her family and not putting family first. So I guess with this husband, and guess what? She is still with him. So and that is a thing I think also in the midst of us trying to be, strong Black women, it's good to try to please our partners and make them feel happy if we can, especially if you're trying to keep them. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. Okay. So I'm going back to my little script on some of the things that I'm trying to find the weeds out. That's what happens when you got too many notes. Okay, just got too many notes. So, anyways, these are some of the things The reasons why that you possibly might want to lose weight, even though we know that we may know that everybody, like we were talking about earlier, may not fall underneath the BMI. That is, those are very strict regulations, and generally those are brought on, more a European point of view. Most Black women and women of color, Hispanics, will not be able, even maybe some Indian women will not be able to fall within those lines. But it's good to get as close as you can within, and feel as healthy as you can. We're going to talk about some of the bad things that come along with being heavier, because in our community, it is promoted to be more heavy. And y'all might just say, I'm just a skinny winky. But, I already talked about that earlier with my genes, genetics is different from some other people. And so I was naturally a more slender person. But anyways, these are some of the reasons why losing weight, and it actually has a lot to do with the hair loss too, because a lot of the medication that they may have you on is going to cause you to lose your hair. Okay. So that you have to maybe keep finding out ways to change your diet. Some of these things, I've known people who have gone holistic. They have gotten off their high blood pressure pills, and that happens to actually be one of the worst pills, that attack the hair, especially like the thyroid medication. Also, when people develop autoimmune conditions, a lot of those conditions, actually, a lot of people don't realize that certain types of hair loss, like alopecia areata, actually is a form of autoimmune disease. So, and what you eat could be triggering these different type of sensitivities and different type of autoimmunity within your body. So that's why it's good to keep these things under wraps. Also, so number one, being unhealthy, being more overweight can make you more susceptible to more autoimmunity. And they have, there are some studies right now showing that I used to have some people tell me, I could eat that same thing, Chelsea, or the weed doctor, and I would gain. I could just look at that food and gain weight. You can eat that and nothing will happen. And you know what? That actually is true. They have scientific studies, and they have found out that the same impact of a meal can affect a more heavier person, sometimes three times more or more than what it would a more slender or skinnier person. So it is true. When you start to build up that weight, it also holds on to, you start to build up more toxins within the fat cells. A lot of toxins are stored within your cells. And so that's why it is important to do that. Also, when you have a large amount of belly fat around your stomach, it makes you more susceptible to diabetes. A lot of people also have developed diabetes, especially after they got when their hormones, when they got after, I guess, the age of 50, hormones started to get off of balance. And a lot of people notice them to lose hair loss right around the same time. A lot of times people that have diabetes, they have high cortisol levels. And we talked about that in some of the other videos earlier, how having a high cortisol levels and also just having hormone disruption can make your body, just take your body down and make you more susceptible to hair loss. So, and I'm trying to think of any more things. So now we are moving on to we'll give that a break just for a second. We're going to give you guys some good old fashioned tips. The Weed Doctor tries to help all of our customers and her customers to be. Okay. So for all those who do not know, we also are doing nutritional consultations. Those start at $175. If you're trying to get within that BMI, baby, you trying to get within that BMI, you are tired of being overweight or obese, come on down to the Weed Doctor. We can also help you with that as well. We do trichology, and the trichology services, we couple that with our nutrition services because they are so closely related. So if you want to get some of those services, call the Weed Doctor, inbox us, leave us a note, email us, and we will contact you at our earliest convenience. And some of the things that we do the hair mineral analysis. Right now, for all those who may be watching, we are currently doing free hair analysis virtually and also free iridology. And that way we can help you address and focus on some of the different organs that might be more weak, so that maybe you can incorporate some different herbs or different nutrition foods within your diet that can help you, to reduce or lessen your alopecia. All right. So now, since we got y'all trying to spend some money, and also we do custom wigs for all of those who might, and we also do installs as well. But we're very popular for our custom wigs. I tell people they're quicker, they're less tension on the scalp, child, and you will be looking amazing. Okay. So now we're going to give you some quick tips. These are some quick tips for hair loss, baby. Quick tips, and also nutrition as well. Because again, as we're learning, nutrition and hair loss are related. Okay, we have to be able to accept that if you want to keep furthering your progress, when you especially if you want to keep regrowing your hair while you're going on your hair growth journey. So these are some tips that you can do that can help to reduce your hair loss and also to help you keep your weight in control so that you will not be susceptible to some of these degenerative diseases. Also, we finding out now that a lot of people who are extremely overweight or just moderately overweight, they are more susceptible to having COVID complications. So we want to make sure that we keep our health and immune system intact while we're doing all of these things. So these are just some tips though, and these tips gonna help y'all. Okay. Tip number one. Okay. Make sure that you eat green leafy vegetables. And I know people tell y'all these things all the time, but be serious, okay? You need to be eating at least 50 to 60% of steamed vegetables per meal. And I know that may sound like a lot, but the reason why we do steamed leafy vegetables, especially that we're steaming them, is because these steamed leafy vegetables, they help to provide our body with tons and tons of minerals and helps to detoxify our body. So that's the first tip for trying to lose weight and also trying to keep your hormones and other body metabolic rates intact while trying to overcome hair loss and thinning hair. All right, the next tip that I would suggest is to make sure that you incorporate a lemon type of water diet or a lemon cleanse. So pretty much with that, you just pretty much put the water and within your some of your different water that you drink, put the lemon in within your water. You can do like a half of lemon, or if you want to be bold, do full lemon. And I remember when I was doing this at one point, girl, the weed doctor was just going to the bathroom. It was getting crazy. I was actually starting to get, but I had been doing it for months and months and months at a time. So I was going through some serious detoxification. And so, and actually, even distilled water in some cases, but you might want to make sure that you check this up with your practitioner or with your doctor before you start doing these things, because sometimes some of these different type of detoxification protocols can actually cause buildup, especially if you're not already detoxifying properly. So you want to make sure before you start doing all these, going through all these big major changes. Also, the next tip will be to remove or reduce dairy products by half or ultimately at all. None at all. So, and that's a very hard thing for a lot of people. Child, we do not want to leave that dairy alone. We trying to get our grub on, girl. We don't want no macaroni and cheese. Thanksgiving is coming up, and the weird doctor's gonna have to find out. I've already been looking into some more healthy alternatives, and we really gonna have to find some more healthy alternatives. Especially, I got to find out a way to get the most bang in this macaroni and cheese. Okay, it's so difficult, I find, to find some really good macaroni and cheese that is happen to be vegan. It is just so hard. I don't know. Maybe for that day, I may have to just have me some regular cheese. Okay, even though the weed doctor is working on cleaning out her lymphatic system. All right, and another thing that I would suggest is to ditch the wheat. Okay, and that's the big demon, right? That's the devil right there. The weed is the devil. The reason why the weed is the devil because there's so much glyphosate, so many pesticides. It is probably one of the most heavily enriched um, forms of a different type of food products that have these different type of chemicals. And the next one that is next is oatmeal. And I remember I used to eat oatmeal every day, baby. I love me some oatmeal. But then I found out that the oatmeal just has so many chemicals within it, and it's again one of the most overly saturated foods that have all of these heavy toxic chemicals within them. A lot of times they're bathing it in them, so you just don't want to make yourself susceptible to these types of things because what we learned in some of the previous videos, if you watch, go back on the weed doctor, especially on the YouTube and the Facebook page. These different type of chemicals, they rip the gut lining, and eventually, if your gut lining gets, becomes, I guess, impermeable, and it starts to become like a leaky gut situation, these toxins start to go in your cells throughout the different organs, and you can really tell this within iridology. I was shocked with it myself. I actually, deal with this situation too, as well, with different toxins being distributed throughout the body. So that's why it's important to do an iridology. Get your iridology screening done so that you can see what's the current state that your body is in. All right. Let's see if anything else that we can hit on. And another thing, as far as with being overweight, generally those who are more overweight are more inflamed. And a lot of these conditions, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, these all are these cardiovascular diseases are inflaming us, making us harden our arteries. And as we talked about earlier, a lot of the inflammation is being manifested within the scalp, and that is causing a lot of people to lose more hair and causing us to be, pretty much a slave to these medications that they have out on the market today. So we hope that was very informative for you guys. And if you have any questions about trying to get a custom unit made or created, come on down to the DMV Weed Doctor. And if you have any questions and answers, make sure that you contact us and let us know so that we will be able to help you, and that we will help you start your hair loss journey and help try to, girl, we're gonna help you regain your confidence back. How many of you guys are tired of walking around, child, looking a hot mess? The Weed Doctor gonna help y'all transform y'all and give you a entire new look. That's one thing we do offer: the short units, long units, child, blonde units, red units. We doing it all at the Weed Doctor's Apothecary right here at Main Attractions, honey. We will hook you up. And now we actually have been cutting down some of the time on the services because we are using incorporating tape and other different little weave doctor tricks. Okay, we're trying to get y'all up out of that shop. Okay, so come on down to the weave doctor if you want to find out how to be transformed, how to improve your look and your confidence, girl. Get your swag back. Okay, come on down to the DMV Weave Doctor located in Bowie, Maryland. All right, we hope there was enough information for you guys. I hope that you have a fabulous afternoon. Bye now.